He didn't look like he was running very fast. He didn't look like he was very strong. But man, nobody could catch him. And for those who got a chance to hit him, they couldn't bring him down. That's it. Come on now. That's Eric Dickerson. He deserved to be the highest paid running back, and he wasn't. It was like Gretzky getting traded.
You love the sport, but I've become to almost hate the sport.
Wow. There you go. For more on Eric Dickerson, hey, let's head out now to San Diego, California, and welcome in former Rams head coach John Robinson. John, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hey, you tried to recruit Eric to USC, I understand. What went through your mind there when you first saw him run?
Well, he was from Sealy, Texas, and was the #1 high school player. We went down to try to recruit him, and he chose to stay in Texas. And when I left, I'll say, well, I'll still get you someday. Not really, but I knew when I took the Ram job, I remembered he was coming out in the draft. I think we picked him second in the draft, and I wanted to build our team around the running game, and Eric was the guy.
And Coach, I got an opportunity to play against Eric Dickerson, and for those people who actually didn't get to see it, they're too young, tell me what made him so dominant?
Well, he obviously was gifted, tall, much taller than most running backs, about 6'3", and he had an ability just to flow and glide when he ran, and yet most people don't know how powerful he was. He carried the ball for us 25, 30 times a game, and so he was there on 3rd and 1 and on the goal line. We never let him come out, and so he could do it all. But he had a grace and an excitement about him that was rare.
Coach Robinson, when you look at a talent, you said rare talent. We look at these guys. I can recall trying to run in the yard to be like Eric Dickerson. There's so many guys that we watch and we see how well they play. From the coach's standpoint, can you give the kids out here who are watching these new stars of today running around and looking great, making it look easy? What was the work ethic like that you saw out of a guy like Eric Dickerson? What went on behind the scenes with you guys that helped make him that guy?
Well, I think people like that have an ambition. They want to be the best. They're going to measure themselves against the best. So I don't think you ever have a problem of getting them to do the thing, convincing them what avenue to take. I think is the role that coaches have. He loved playing, loved the ball. I'd take him out and say, Eric, you tired? You're tired? He said, no, give me the damn ball. So he had a lot of pride and ambition about what he did and was willing to do it. We always said, hey, you're the foundation of this team. You've got to practice. And when you run the ball in practice, you've got to put on a show for our own guys. And he always did that.
Okay, so I have a feeling I know where you're going to go with this answer here, but I'm going to ask you this question because we saw that in the little teaser we played leading into this interview that money was an issue, obviously, for Eric Dickerson and the reason that he went from the Rams to the Colts there. So should the Rams have made Eric Dickerson $1 million man, or was it the right move trading him to the Colts?
Oh, I thought we made a huge mistake. We had everything built around him, a really good offensive line, a very good tight end and fullback. You can't really run the football unless you have a tight end and a fullback. And so I think we were set up to really make a run at a championship with him. There's a lot of business issues that are separate from coaching, but just from a football standpoint, we were primed to get the maximum out of Eric, which I don't think he ever realized. He could have been way, way ahead of any statistic that any running back had if he'd have stayed.
Coach, you coached the game at the highest level, and you saw this running back do the things he did, Eric Dickerson, and I see you in the booth sometimes now, calling games, so you can attest to the fact that the running game is not the same now. But looking at what DeMarco Murray's doing, he's on pace to break Eric Dickerson's record. What are the chances that we see Eric Dickerson's rushing record fall anytime soon?
Oh, I don't think you'll see it. I think teams do a better job, as Murray's going to see, people will begin defending him. I think right now, Dallas, they probably stay balanced. But the ability of defenses now to say, hey, we're going to take that guy away, I think really makes that a more difficult thing. And when you say on a pace, boy, that's about 13 more weeks, and that's hard. So, Eric, that was one of the great things about him. He was there every Sunday and very seldom had a bad game and was very seldom ever held to under 100 yards.
All right, Eric Dickerson's former coach there. John Robinson live with us this morning on NFL AM from San Diego. Thanks Coach, for being with us. And coming up next here on NFL AM, after setting a new record for the most rushing yards by a quarterback on Monday Night Football, find out what Russell Wilson added to his list of honors. That's next.